Welcome, y'all. This is the March office hours for the S&P and the S&P Plus 26. And remember, we're on the last Thursday of the month. As usual, I'm going to share some big ideas, and it's all about newsletters today. And the big idea comes from the 100 plus planning calls that I've been doing with all the new members of the S&P Plus this past month. I am almost done. And my big question is, what is the big deal about a newsletter? So with that said, let's do this poll because I do want to collect a little data. Have you sent a newsletter this year? So interesting. 4% said yes, I sent my very first one. 23% said yes, I sent a new edition of mine. So look at that, 27% said yes. 39% said I'm working on it. Okay, so that's good. I hope you're going to hit send soon. And I'm resisting 33%, which is what I expected, truthfully. So I do want to focus on the positive, not the negative. One of the positive aspects of doing a newsletter is what I call newsletter magic. There is no newsletter magic without a newsletter. It is as simple as that. All those other things make sense, but you still do have to send something out. And then you get newsletter magic. And again, this issue of what's the big deal? I think one of the big problems with the newsletter is the word newsletter. The word newsletter has a long history. It carries a lot of baggage. People have all sorts of associations to it that feel daunting. That's what I hear. And I tried to reframe it as a micro newsletter. But in my conversations with people, I see that doesn't really help. They still feel daunted by the idea of a newsletter. So then I think, no, it's the word newsletter that is a problem. So I said to myself, Ilise, what would Ann Handley say? Ann Handley is the author of Everybody Writes. But one of the most popular episodes of my podcast is one with Ann Handley, and I think it's called How to Write a Ridiculously Good Email Newsletter. But the real answer is actually what she said to me once. I heard her speak and she said this, and then I got so jealous that I hadn't said it first. And that thing is that email newsletters are not about the news, it's about the letter. It's not about the news, it's about the letter. Meaning, a lot of people struggle because you feel like, what am I going to say, right? That's one of the things we heard. What am I going to say? Or why would anyone listen to me? Could you reframe the idea of a newsletter as a letter, maybe even a love letter that you send to your very best prospect on your list? What would you want to say to that person on a regular basis so that when they're in their moment of need, they will think of you and respond, and that's when you get newsletter magic? Could you do that? That's my question. Could you do that? Could you rethink about it? All right. Bye, y'all. Have a great month. See you soon.